you can play like that, why wouldn't you? Cover. Lots. What noise was that? Goodness me. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for another reaction video. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications because it helps me out a lot, and that's very cool of you. Today is a very special day, almost a special day, and I'll explain. One of our OG Discord members, my ride or die, my zombie killing, people yeeting champ, Frosty, is having a special birthday tomorrow. He's a really good friend of mine, and obviously we know I do my Nightwish Saturday reactions on Saturdays, so I didn't want to break that tradition, but he's cool enough to understand, so this is an early birthday present to him. He's asked me to take a look at a band called Galneryus, which a lot of you have too, so that's like a bonus one, and I couldn't be more excited. Frosty is a great human being. He means a lot to me, he means a lot to our Discord community, and he's actually one of the people who have helped introduce me to a lot of Japanese music, like X Japan, and I can't get enough of them. My channel can get enough of them, shout out Copy Strikes, but I love their music and I'm obsessed with them. We watched the documentary together. What a band. I encourage you, if you haven't heard them, go and listen to them. But back to today's reaction. Frosty, this one's for you, dude. All the love in the world, and I can't wait. Galneryus, Angel of Salvation live. Let's see what you got. I need to stop it here, and that is in the middle of a big build-up, and I know that because I don't want to let it get too far without talking about what I'm hearing. Did not expect this start. Beautiful orchestral element to it. The beginning was light and playful. The violin work there was really nice. It switched between that kind of low mids of what they were doing all the way to these nice higher, more playful pieces, and it was really light and it felt good. Then you had those cellos coming in, and what they were doing was bouncing back and forward on one of the strings. And what that does is, if you listen carefully, you can hear the percussive elements, but it creates this nice rumble. Instead of doing a long bow pull, which has almost a drop to the end of it, and you'd hear the break before you reverse the direction, it creates that constant rumble. And like I said, if you do listen carefully, you can hear the percussive element to it, but I still think it's really cool. It's an offset of what you heard earlier, and then it went into kind of 2 layers, I think, of violin work. So there was more long pulls, and then there was the lead work on top. The panning on it's quite cool. If you have headphones, once again, please use them, because lots of nice kind of experiential live bits that you get from that. So you can hear some of it pan slightly left, more in the middle with the lead, and then those longer pulls out to the right, and it all comes together. And it's obviously building, so I want to go back a little bit just to hear what that turns into, but very cool and very unexpected. Come on, man. Come on. You could see the band in front towards the end of that orchestral intro, and you knew they were going to come in at some stage. Of course they were, but I did not expect it to be that kind of energy and intensity. I thought it would be more dramatic and kind of, but they kept that fun, like really light element to it, and I like that a lot. Really quick gallops, drummer coming in with that fire, and then just allowing that orchestra to stay relevant, stay audible right on top. Now, I could have done with a bit more of the guitar mix in this, but you can still hear it, and it's not lost on me. I just would have liked it to be a bit louder. It's really, really cool. Very high energy. Also, shout out an 18-minute song. So pack a lunch, pack a dinner, pack breakfast for the next 3 days. Here we go. it's interesting. This is like one of those definitive live mixes where everything is audible, everything is present, but it's a really tough job for the engineer to get right. And I'm actually really impressed with what they've done so far, because either you have the band that is so dominant when they come in that you lose the essence of this intro with the orchestra and some of those lovely instruments, and you have the reverse as well, where the orchestra is way too loud. This is a right in the sweet spot of where you want the mix to be. There are certain things you could nitpick at, but I am impressed with it, and I am a big fan of his vocals. Slightly different middle Japanese vocal to what I've heard tonally, but I actually really like this. Oh, listen to, he's switched his pattern. This drum is awesome. He's got into that, and it's this nice gallop that you get in a lot of power metal, and I think it works. What it feels like is a drop in intensity, but it isn't, because he's kept that tempo right there so you can boost back in. Very cool. Hang on. That's a good place to pause. So we've got the keys going. You can hear a lot of the work he's doing is drifting in the back. Not meant to be a primary, meant to be a gap filler, meant to be a tonal space kind of element, to be a melodic background piece, which I think is working really well as well. What I will say is one guitarist, right? One bassist, one guitarist. So what you are hearing, I thought I heard it earlier, but I wasn't sure. When he breaks to do those lead pieces, when he took over from the orchestra and when he went into this lead piece here, you can actually hear obviously the lack of those chords being rung out in the back, or the gallops that you'd ordinarily hear with two guitarists. And I like it because it's allowing the orchestra to shine through, it's allowing the vocals to push right through with it. And sometimes that really works. It depends on the guitarist. And here's a good one. Listen to those key hits. You can hear them sharp and just really punchy, cutting through the mix again. He's creating enough space, this engineer. Mixing isn't always about it. It always feels like when I started getting into the whole production elements and trying to figure out placements of things, I had the perception that mixing was about joining everything together. And that's the output. The process is about finding gaps in space and placements to have areas where certain things can shine through. And there's another engineer on our Discord named Valerie, and he it's his job, right? So he's mixing all these complicated arrangements, and we always talk about the outputs of certain tonal frequencies and values that, you know, individually the instrumentation wouldn't overpower, but together that accumulative effect would overpower in the mix. And I think that's part of the beauty of why I'm enjoying this so much. Listen to those keys. I'm rambling because I'm just a music geek. Deal with it. No. Yes. He is remarkable. He's one of those guitarists where you go, I wish I had that technique and that kind of ability, because everything he's doing, I've spoken about it before and I will say it again because it has never been more important. His sacrifice of certain get out of jail free bits in terms of tone to get that particular tone is admirable, because you would hear a mistake a mile away. Thing is, he doesn't make any. That was pitch perfect. He just nailed that. And what I liked is there was a repeatable pattern to that solo, and I would definitely define it as a solo versus a lead piece, because there were elements of being free, and he switched up that trem picking, that tapping and bouncing up and down. Remarkable clarity on each one of those notes. He is a special talent. Bassist really doing a great job of carrying the melody in the background, orchestra taking a step back, and then the drummer accenting certain pieces of the lead work and the solo to make sure that you are jumping back onto that phrasing, making sure that it matches and emphasizes the bits that they want you to hear. It's just very, very smart. Nice light keys. There it is. Listen to this climb. Oh man, bass is killing as well. Listen to this climb. So you're going to hear that dun 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 dun, and it's going up in the background behind the chords that have been played. And that's the beauty of the orchestra. They blend in so seamlessly that you actually have to listen for it. It's not just going to be presented to you and go, this is one, this is the other. This is just music, and it's all pushed together and blended and knitted, weaved, if you will. I like. There. Okay. I got chills, and I was like, please let me find a visual to match this to help explain what I'm hearing. And there was one. The orchestral music, even when it does build and become something in like a score, it becomes something intense and quick. It's rare to see the kind of power and energy and just perfect placements of what they're doing with those bow pulls. Really, really cool on the violin work, and you're going to see it in the background, and you're going to hear the sharp hit, sharp, and then the longer pulls. And that's what I'm talking about the blend, because the way he's doing with these chords and shifting is not the same as what they're doing. They are two different things. They're in the same key, of course, which they have to be, but they are two different things, and they just work so damn well together. It's impressive. It's very impressive. What are we doing? Why do we even try? Look at this, man. Loved what the bassist did there, kind of echoing a lot of the lead work that was done before it went into the second solo. I'm sure the second of many, because if you can play like that, why wouldn't you? Cover. Lots. What noise was that? Goodness me. Lots. He does look like he's wearing boots from like Skyrim, and that's fine. Or Destiny. But Ark, maybe. Shout out gamers. But there's a lot going on with his guitar work there. What you will see here towards the end, and I've gone back into it for this particular reason, hopefully it's enough, is you'll see a really good example of sweeping, where you have like all this very detailed and dedicated strum down, and then your fingers are doing a lot more of the work versus the trem picking. Very cool. Of course. This guy's crazy. You'll see his left hand is on that like kind of mod wheel. It's like a pitch shift. It's like using a whammy bar really, and he's modulating a lot of the stuff he's doing. Where you're getting that accents on some of the notes. He's quick. He is very quick. I would not want to race him in a typing contest. I love the switch up on his drumming. Yeah, it's very cool because there's been so much constant intensity, very defined and predictable placements of his snare that he's kind of backing tracking on that. And you can hear in this kind of beat where he's delaying, there's a lot more intense kick work before that snare placement comes in. It almost sounds like there's a double hit in places where there's meant to be this like, manipulated echo of it, just so that it changes the phrasing quite dramatically. And it should, because it's a long song, and it's a long song. Frosty, it's a long song. I like that. Nice break. A lot going on. Every solo that's ever been played is being played here. Nice to have that break where it was drummer was keeping time using like his hi-hats on one of the cymbals, but nice to see the orchestra and the singer working together there, and I think that that's been important for me as well. He's got a great voice. I'm a big fan of his voice. He's not over singing the typical power metal vibrato. It is emphasized quite heavily. That's the genre, and that's what it's always going to be, but he's not kind of overkilling it. Really, really cool. Big fan of his voice, and to hear it with those strings in the back, it's just beautiful, man. It's awesome. Come on, man. Come on. Enough now. I'm getting mad. He's so good. And the thing is, it is quite like... It is quite over the top in terms of all the solos and stuff. And it's not for everyone. It is for me because I'm a big fan of the technical elements of it. This becomes less of a song and more of like a score. Because if you said, hey, Chase, what's the structure? I'd go, yes. There isn't one. It's all of it. Everything is here. And because of the orchestra, I actually don't mind all the guitar stuff. I think the nice emphasis of the keys on that working against the strings, it does feel more, it feels less like a song and more like a movie score. And I do think that that's why it's okay with me. I'm not finding it difficult. Now we're only halfway through this long song, but I'm not mad. And I just am enjoying myself, to be honest with you. And this is what music should do. So I forgot where I was for a second. I was just like zoned out on him. It's like watching a lecture. It's like watching a lecture in a language you don't speak. Also, real quick, shout out this drummer, man. Shout out this drummer with the energy, the stamina. It's a whole lot of a whole lot. Now, for the observance of you out there, you will realize that there was a quick jump cut over here, and that's because my camera only films in 28-minute stints, which means this is going to be a movie. Sit back and enjoy. He's got a voice to push it that far away. A lot of these mics are quite directional singing mics, because if they pick up too much of the surrounding, you end up with more feedback issues. They're not ultra directional, they're more dynamic, but like he's got some power. Bassist and keyboardist have same hairdresser. No, we're doing that again. Soz lol. That's a good example of scales. I always talk about scales in solos. He does a really nice scale all the way down, up, and then back again, and then starts it in a higher dynamic, does the same thing, brings it back again. Very cool, very technical. I'm all for it. Nice delay on the snare hit. Have a listen for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of placing your snare on a 2 and a 4, it's kind of on the beginning, and then you're leaving the open section open to close the phrasing with it. And it just feels like this really nice drop in intensity, which it is. And in terms of the timing as well, it's half, but it's nice to separate the snare hits with that. I think it's quite cool. Man, Japanese crowds are so organized and just like, it's awesome. It's fun to watch. You want to be there. I like the lead work and the vocal. Ordinarily, throughout probably I'd say half of the song, there was a distinct lack of vocal when the lead came in. It was always a step back and a push, and now it feels like they're working together. And the lead work that's happening is actually, because of how when you play that kind of frequency and those tones, it is going to jump forward and be present, as much present as the vocals are, but it is something that's quite nice in terms of it's adding like a melodic background, if you will. So it is adding value to the vocal, not just trying to be a standoff piece, and I like it. Really nice musical journey, this. I'm just sitting thinking about where it started and where it is, and it's just such a it's almost like I mean this in the best possible way. It's almost like it was a sprint in the beginning, and now it's becoming like a slow jog, and it's losing that energy. And I think it needs to. I mean, there's still time left in the song for them to pick up if they wanted to, but I quite like the fact that it's started really strong, intense, and it stayed there for a long time, and now it's starting to drip down again. It takes you on a musical journey, and I'm a huge advocate for that, because I think if music can't do that, especially over a song that's this long, and the composition of which is so intricate, intense, and the effort that is put into writing and playing it, it's easy to kind of miss all that when it's just a long song and it's just kind of repeating loops that you kind of know are going to come. There are unexpected pieces to this, and it makes me happy. Very cool, like auditorium as well. I don't know why, but as he hit that lead work there, I just keep thinking of Queen. There's a lot of the tone of this, and a lot of the actual lead solo work, obviously very different sound and band, but there's a lot of that guitar work that's been done that is very reminiscent of like the Queen solos and some of that style. It makes me happy. What an outro. That's sick, man. That's so cool. Oh, they were in like their own merch. That's cool. Okay, so I did another little skip there, as I'm sure you would have seen on the video. There was quite a lot of talking, and there's no subtitles for it, so I didn't understand what was going on. But he did go on to kind of really get the people to applaud the orchestra and their work in that, which I think is huge. It's so easy to take that focus onto you and make it all about just the band, and of course it is about the band, but just to acknowledge their efforts and to, get them standing up, to get the crowd to applaud that, I think is awesome. It just shows that mutual respect, and obviously a lot of time and dedication that's gone into creating this. What a beautiful song, man. What a great song. It's long, it's exhausting, because it should be. That's the purpose of these long songs. They take a lot of energy to write, and they take a lot of energy to listen to, and they should. And again, I'm sure it'll not be for everyone, but it sure as hell is for me. And Frosty, you picked another goodie, man. You picked another goodie. Now let's hope this video stays up, because, man, publishers and me, we ain't being friends right now. But I am very grateful for that. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. I know we're going to be on Discord chatting, laughing, and listening to more Backstreet Boys, which is a vibe. And yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I am very, very keen to do more. So let me know where to go next. Until then, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.